and we are going to get rolling here. So you guys, it is the morning, and you had just had your breakfast with the farm family that you had spent the night with. They are a kindly group of humans that are just helping you out and giving you a place to stay. They like hearing about your stories, and you're strange to them, so they are, interested in you. You get the idea that any kind of adventure that goes by this kind of rural farm area is interesting to these people, and so they gave you a nice meal. They let you do a little bit of gambling and have some fun with them, and now it is morning. You guys just had breakfast, and it's time to head out on your day. At this time, I'll ask you what you guys want to do. There is more questions you could ask these farmers. I don't even know off the top of my head what they would be, but if you have questions, you can ask them. If you want clarification on something, ask me, or you guys can talk to each other and discuss what your plan is. But you have a feeling you're about another day's walk from where you need to be. So it's going to be, one more day's travel to get to the large, expansive cornfield that this seed is said to be trapped in.
Okay. I'll probably thank them. I would like to thank them. Thank you. I never knew that peasant food could be so delicious.
That's perfect, because last week I was like, this peasant food is beneath me.
Oh, well, actually, the peasant food was decent. So far, I haven't had any stomach issues. So thank you for your peasant food, kind peasants.
Of course, honey, no problem.
I do want to ask the family if there's any way they would recommend for us to travel faster, because my delicate feet have been getting blisters. And my royal parents have always said blisters would make my feet much more unattractive, and I don't want that to happen.
What?
So
I like all feet of any kind.
Oh dear, Fergus.
I should remind the party a little bit about some other stuff that happened last time, just as a heads up, because there was some other things. So you did bring back to life using Neffy's power. She has a godly power that allows her to bring somebody back to life. You guys used that on the slave driver that you killed a couple sessions ago to interrogate him. So you got a bunch of information about other slave drivers in the area. You got a bunch of information on why he did what he did and how he was kind of under contract with a large demon lord of one of the hells. And that's where that book came from that you guys found. Remember that book that was that Neffy is bound up. It has all of his, kind of like his ledger. So that book, you have a feeling, is connected to that demon lord in some way. And yes, there is some awful, nefarious shit going on in the background here. Now, with that, you also took their horses. So you guys have 3 horses. There are 7 of you. So a few of you are walking. At this time, that's... it's still going to be okay. It's not going to slow you down too much. But if you could procure a couple more horses, you'd probably get there quicker than a day. You'd probably get there by the end of this day. These people seem to have a large ranch and might be able to give you some horses, but you'd have to probably try and convince them or buy them off of the people here. But they seem open. The lady says, well, we got horses, sure, but we can't just give them away. They're a couple of them are the kids, had them since they were young, and also we kind of need them to help plow the fields and shit.
But are they happy here?
I think so.
A horse should be free.
Aren't you going to take
Should
it and
be
make
able
it a
to-
slave?
No, we're gonna ride it free into the sunset.
Then you can walk.
I'm
Roll
okay
a
with
deception check,
walking.
Egrid. Roll a deception check, because you're definitely not going to let it ride free. With a 10, let me roll for her. She rolled pretty low. She she says, well, there is one horse that does seem a little down. Maybe you could take him. But the rest of them,
Horses
they're pretty
don't
happy.
like to be bound by all of this fencing. They should be free off in the wild. I'd love to take them off your hands. You know, show them what it's like out in the world.
Well, you could
Didn't
have
know
the
Pigrid
one.
would be such a good scam artist. I would like to persuade them. Did you know that the grace and boon of a royal high elf is actually a good blessing to have? And in exchange for this blessing, I would like to borrow your horses. One for each member of
The
my family.
blessing of the elves is huge.
Yeah,
It
you
does
wouldn't
so
know.
much for you. It's
Roll-
great.
Okay, Tyria, roll a deception check as well, but I'd like you to roll with advantage because Egrid is helping you by like lying with you. So you're gonna roll twice, take the higher number.
Okay, got it.
Elves are very evil creatures. You don't want one against you. They'll ruin your
I'm
lives.
supposed to help Pigrid.
No, I'm saying if you help them with the blessing, they won't have to worry about the evil elves coming for their crops. That's the kind of thing
Natural
they do.
20, bitch! Sorry.
Nice. Very nice.
Yay!
Very nice.
We win these.
So with that, this is the first time the party has ever seen Tyria and Egrid working together on something. This is actually like the first.
Technically, Pigrid's not really helping, but
I mean,
I guess.
in a way, kind of.
Elves are scary business. They're ugly too.
Look, what happens if you don't have the blessing of an elf?
Awful things.
Look at Pigrid. Good example.
Exactly. They murdered my entire family
Oh shit!
in their sleep, and you should have saw how
No, yours murdered my
ugly they
family.
were.
Your family murdered my family.
No, my dad's cooler than
After-
your dad.
After they murdered, wait.
Well,
Well,
my dad has
that
diabetes.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is these horses.
And
We
as
They
you
should
say
be
that,
out in nature.
the nice farm lady says, well, we've never had an elf blessing before, but we could probably use that. Do you think that maybe you could bless the whole farm?
Do it, Tyria. Do your blessing.
Sure, I'll bless your whole farm.
What's the chant that they say? Will you do the chant?
I don't need to do chants.
I
don't need a chant like that, you heathen.
The
Then how
lady's
do
like,
you
oh, you have a
propose-
chant? Will you do the chant? Please do the chant.
How do you propose that you're going to bless their
It's
entire
not
farm
chant.
without a chant?
I'm gonna blow my moonflower all over their fields. Moonflower
Can you-
smoke.
Can you do it while
bless us
chanting?
with the moonflower.
How big is a field?
Whoa!
That's a pretty
Yeah,
big
that's all you
farm.
Oh,
need.
the whole field is blessed with the
It's
elves.
blessed.
It's a pretty big
I'll blow
farm.
some on Pigrid too. Now you could be a little blessed too.
So
Wait,
Praise the
are we
God.
swapping smoke now?
Wow.
You're welcome.
Jinx. I was gonna have you roll. Could you join in on roll 20?
Yeah.
And then once you're in there, I'm gonna have you roll a perception check for me. So while she's getting in here and doing that, you go ahead and bless the family by blowing some smoke on their table, on their kitchen counters, around the edges of the house, and you kind of walk around the edges of the farm and blow smoke on their fence posts as they all ooh and ah as you do it. And one lady says, you missed a spot. You missed your spot there. And she kind of points to the barn that smells like cow feces.
Oh,
I
your
don't think-
harvest will be like that of never before.
I think your cow feces will also be extra blessed. Your plants are gonna grow extra
Prize.
healthily.
I think,
Oh, so you mean
Sorry, I think you really need to get up close and personal with the feces and kind of, blow
Oh,
really
yeah.
hard into
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Only if you
yeah.
fucking eat it first, you nasty little creature. No, thank you.
Don't fucking talk to me like that,
We
you cheeky
must
bastard.
cleanse the feces. Tyria. You can't let these poor folk go
No,
without
thank
this
you.
area
It smells like
cleansed.
Pigrid's farts. I would rather pass.
Can I
I already blew
I-
on the field. It's enough.
Can I push Tyrion's face into the feces like somebody would push a face into a cake at a birthday
She wouldn't get
party?
caught
I would
dead close
literally
enough for you
murder him.
to even put her face in it. She would not even go near the barn, I would think.
I know we can't kill our teammates, but I'm gonna make Commander make an exception if you do that shit to me. Hell no.
Oh no.
Technically, you can do it. I prefer it not happen. But I mean, if it's
That's
gonna happen,
okay.
it's gonna happen.
Listen.
The girls are
I
fighting.
the thought has crossed my mind, but I shall not act upon it.
Oh my god.
Okay, and then we got Jinx's roll with a natural 1, the first natural 1 of the day. That's okay because it wasn't too big of a perception check anyway. It wasn't super important.
Tyria is using a weighted die. Oh.
So
Sorry, we high elves don't need to resort to cheating.
So the tension rises as you bless the rest of the farm. They give you 2 of their horses for the blessing, and 1 horse for the because it's sad, and Egrid did the check for that one. So you get total of 3 horses from the farmers here. So that leaves 1 person off a horse, but Dom, that 1 person that is left off, can ride on the back of someone's horse. And I think that should do it. So that would be... Yeah, so we had Neffy and Fergus on 1 horse. We had Tyria on a horse, Egrid on a horse, Moonsies Crocus on a horse, Leon on a horse, Shisa... you would need 1 more horse for your full party. They look like they have 4 more horses if you can try and convince them to give you 1 more to get the full party on horseback.
I have run out of blessings for the day.
I think I can probably persuade them.
How would you do that?
Sing them a song. A song for these people. They'll love it.
Do my songs hypnotize people?
Perform for them, Bard.
Look at your spell list. Do you have any spells that are like Charm Person or...
Yeah, I have Charm Person.
Charm Person would make them like immediately your friend, and you would have advantage on all of your checks to try and persuade them to give you things. That said, when Charm Person ends, they know that they've been charmed, which will then turn them into enemies probably. People don't like having spells cast on them without their consent.
Oh no.
Consent is everything.
So it's up to
Consent
you.
is important.
Consent is key.
It would take... It would be... How long does Charm Person end? When you click on it, like how long does it take, or not take to cast, but how long does it last for duration? Does it say hour or minute or 10 minutes? When you click on Charm Person.
An hour.
An hour. Okay, so you could get the horse and leave before they found out that you had charmed them, but at that point, coming back to them might not be really an option you want to take.
Are we gonna
So-
come back to them ever?
It's up to you. Totally up to your party.
Oh, she's an
how do you guys feel?
amazing artist. She's very big back home. She's one of the biggest in Zarotha.
Okay. And are we gonna am I ever gonna see this bitch again or nah?
This farm family, it's up to you if you see them again. They said that they would reward you handsomely if you came back with proof of the guards from the cornfield that you're headed to, because nobody's ever seen one and lived before. So if you can bring them back some proof or a description of the guards, they said that they would reward you handsomely.
Oh,
Okay.
they're so nice, though.
I think I can just persuade with my regular persuasion. It's pretty good.
So
Are
how
you
would you
singing
do
the
that? What
song?
would you say? Kind of like Tyria did with the blessing? Like, what would you do to like
I
offer
would
them?
I would just walk up and I would be like, look, we're buying so many horses off of you right now. We're probably the biggest sale you've made in months, and we just need 1 more horse. We did the math wrong, didn't realize I needed 1 more. If you could just give this to us for free, we definitely are gonna you have my word, we're gonna come back with proof of that guardian. Like, there's no doubt about it. We're gonna defeat those guardians and get that seed.
Roll me a
Oh, we'll
persuasion
get
check.
that seed.
Crave that seed.
I hope we do.
I'd say since you mentioned the guard, that's kind of what I was looking for. So go ahead and roll with advantage. Roll twice, take the higher number. You can hold down shift and then click persuasion, and that'll roll with advantage for you if you want.
Gotcha.
Nice. Okay. Let me roll for her. Yeah. She says, well, as long as you promise to bring back the some proof of those guards, I mean, that's priceless to us out here. So, yeah, take another horse. Go for it.
Thank you.
She says, this one's name is Benny. And she brings you a kind of dark, spotted, dark brown horse with white spots. That's the last one.
Why is he named Benny?
She says, well, this was my son's horse. He grew up with this horse. As you can see, he's an old mare. She kind of slaps him on the butt. But he's reliable and
That's kind
well,
of ageist, don't you think?
what'd you say?
It's not right to be ageist towards horses. Just because it's old doesn't mean that it still can't work. A lot of these older horses know more than the younger ones.
She laughs. She says, yeah, well,
Sounds like you're taking it a little bit personally, Pigrid.
I am.
I agree with
People
you, though.
don't respect their
For the
elders.
first time ever. Respect your elders.
she lets you guys kind of talk back and forth, and she holds her tongue on what she was gonna say.
Now, what was it? Now, what were you gonna say about the horse?
It's not a big deal. It was my son's, and he's no longer with us, so
Oh,
we don't. I'm sure Benny could use some time outside.
What happened to your son?
Oh my god.
She kind of rubs her arm a little bit and looks down at the ground, and she says, he wanted to be an adventurer like y'all, and we haven't heard from him in 15 years. He said he was going to come back, but he never came back. So,
your son, what was his name?
well, she kind of looks down at the ground and smirks, and she says, "Huh? Benny," and she kind of slaps the horse on the butt, and she says, "We let him name the horse when he was a kid." She kind of smiles, looking off into the distance, and of course he picked his own name. So.
Well,
What kind of
perhaps-
adventure did he go on?
Exactly.
So one at a time, I missed whoever said anything. They all kind of jumbled together.
Oh, I asked what kind of adventure did he go on?
Well, he wanted to be a guard at one of the major cities, and he never said which one, but he said he'd be back within the year and let us know how it went. And we can only assume either a Nightwalker got him or he died in the line of duty. We asked around, sent a lot of messages out, and haven't heard anything back.
Oh no.
Well,
It
I'm very
happens
sorry
out
to
here.
hear that, but we will keep an eye out for your son. If we can find your son, we'll send him back home. We'll send him packing, and we'll say that you guys were looking out for him and asking about him.
I have a feeling he's still out there. I can feel his energy. Benny, he will come back to us soon. I just know it. The gods are with us.
That
She,
elfish blessing that you got earlier will probably help bring him back as well.
Maybe his name is in the book.
She laughs.
Oh my god.
And it's kind of like a soft chuckle. She's like, well, you're all real nice. We've heard it all before, though, from psychics and mediums and fortune tellers. We've
Well,
paid people
there
to
is
come
a
out
mild
and
difference.
Have you heard it from Crocus Summerhide? She's one of the best fortune tellers. Do you have a vision for her son, Crocus?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
how does Crocus react to this?
I'm turning on my face cam. Oh dear. Wait. Properties. Go. Camera, cancel. Ah!
No worries. Take your time. When it pops up, it's probably gonna make me redo my overlay. Oh no, it's cool.
Crocus is panicking.
Not
Crocus
the
is
virtual camera.
Nice.
Crocus sits there like Egrid, yes, I am a wonderful fortune teller. I will. I'm reading.
What are you saying? Oh, she's saying something.
I'm seeing something. I'm definitely seeing something.
You got the "that's so Raven" look.
He's out there. I can sense it. His presence is strong. It's light, but it's strong, and it's out there, and he's out there. I'm in complete disbelief.
Roll me a
I want
deception
to play
check.
poker against Crocus.
Roll me a deception check.
Oh my god.
Oh.
The lady, she says, "Well, that was real nice of you to try. Honestly, it was nice, but
So sorry, ma'am.
you don't need to patronize us. It's okay."
I'm so sorry. I'm sure he's out there somewhere, or
Listen, I know Crocus. She gets a little anxious sometimes, and I know you said, listen, you've heard from fortune tellers, you've heard from psychics, you've heard from bloody blah blah. Half of us are bloody demigods. So
You're
if there's
what?
anyone on this planet,
Shh,
we're demigods.
Fergus, shut
Oh wait.
What do you mean by that?
I'm making a joke.
That's a little conceited of you, don't you think?
Well, yeah. I will listen. I'll make it up to you. I'll find your son. I'll bring him back, and I'll make it up for my poorly placed joke. I can only apologize dearly. I'm not used to this culture. I'm used to a culture of brevity and humor. But I guess you humans don't carry such a trait.
Ooh, Fergus is calling you guys not funny.
Y'all gonna be okay?
My parents were killed by dwarves. We're never okay.
Well, enjoy the horses. Take care of them. Here's some wheat to help you.
Wheat.
Some wheat. And
Why do you say it like
wheat for wheat?
Wheat.
yeah, here's some wheat. Some wheat to feed the horses.
Thank you
Some
for the
cool whip.
Well,
Fergus.
you're very welcome.
Fergus.
Very
Thank you.
welcome.
A
Thank
cream of wheat.
Oh my god.
There's
Please,
no H in welcome.
God, if you're listening, please let us leave soon. I can't do this
Yeah.
anymore.
Like ice. We must get that seed.
So what's funny
It's the
about
last
these kind of
thing we
situations, you guys can always just be like, okay, we leave. And then I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I will play it as long as you want. You know, we could be here all
Okay.
session as long as you want. You can just be like, okay, we're done. But just make sure you decide together as a group, you know? Just like, okay, are we good, everybody? We're good. Okay, moving on. Like, whenever you want to move on, I'm good to move on. So, anything else you guys want to do here?
I think we're good. Personally, if everyone else is happy to move on, I reckon
Pretty
we
ready
get on the
to move
horses and we
Let's
find
get-
these guards.
Okay.
find those seeds.
All right. You hop on the horses and travel down the trail towards the fuck is that, Trisha?
It's a horse.
Looks like something from like one of those old YouTube videos from like 2008, you know? It's like anyway. All right, so you guys head down the trail on your horses, clippity clopping, and the locusts kind of buzz around this area. It is a large, expansive hill, and it's mostly flat with some hills here and there that separate the fields, but there are all different kinds of crops. You walk past cornfields, wheat fields, soybean fields, fields of different kinds of grains, a sunflower field that's expansive and large and goes over a large hill. Those sunflowers, you can smell the aroma coming from them, and it's a beautiful area of the world that not many people travel through because there's not really much reason to travel into this area of the world. It's, like I said, very rural, and the people who live out here for work and for their livelihood, and traveling through this area, there's really nothing much of interest in most places. As you're traveling, though, one place of interest does stick out to you, and maybe just because you all have never seen something like this before. There is an old, abandoned, and kind of broken down windmill out in the middle of one of the wheat fields. It is kind of just out there with no attachments to it or any people around, and you can actually tell just from a distance that it is falling apart. Like the windmill piece of it is missing one of the blades, and the building itself has bricks that are missing off of the sides of it, and it looks like it's kind of tilted, like leaning a little bit to one side. Some of you may know what this does, some of you may not. Crocus would definitely know what this is, being from a family that uses a bakery. This windmill is actually a wheat mill. Wheat mill. So when the wind turns the turbine, it rolls the wheat grains inside the building. So it's not for power. The windmill's not for power. It's for rotating and keeping grains from getting moist and gross. Keeps them dry, basically. So that's what you would recognize. Most of you probably wouldn't know what it is, like especially Tyria. Probably never seen something like this before. It's something that you see the results of. You see bread all the time. You see, goods that are made of wheat, but you probably have never seen how this stuff is made. And this one looks abandoned, but it kind of looks like it might be an interesting place to at least go check out, as it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it might have some cool knickknacks or relics in it. You guys want to walk by it, or you want to go to it? Up to you.
Let's go search it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not too far off the path as you veer your horses into the wheat fields. The day is kind of coming to a close to a close. I should say it's more like 5 o'clock or so. So you have a couple options here. Depending on what you find at the windmill, you could take your rest here and try to make your way finally to the expansive cornfield that you're headed to. You could try and do that tomorrow in game, or you could quickly go through this windmill and then attempt to try and get to the cornfield by the end of the night, which you would be able to do on your horseback if you wanted to. So it's up to you whether you want to get there during the day or at night. But I'll let you decide that after I describe the windmill. As you walk up to it, it's extremely tall. I'm not really good at describing feet-wise, but I'll tell you it's about as tall as like an apartment complex, to give you something to compare it to, like a basic 3-story apartment complex. And like I said, it kind of creaks as the wind turbine rotates just a little bit. And the one blade that's broken off, you actually see is laying in the field next to you as you walk up to the windmill itself. So this large blade is kind of laying on top of some rows of wheat, and you just hear the kind of
Perhaps
noise.
we should fix it.
It'd be pretty hard to fix. Be pretty
Doesn't
hard
look
to
like
fix.
anyone's gonna
Perhaps
use it. We should
Susu could use her webs.
She definitely could. She definitely could. So that Neffy is the character, and she looks at it, and she says, "Well, I don't know. Is it necessary? Do we need to?" She kind of like ruffles her skirt a little bit.
Why do we need to fix it again?
Because it's broken.
Simple woman.
I like your. Mhm.
But
I
it's
don't-
abandoned. No one's gonna use it. If we fix it, what's the point? Let's just search it. If there's anything useful, we take it, and then we go on our merry way, so we don't get to the cornfield too late, so we get attacked by monsters.
Okay.
Materia, night
We
falls
should-
upon us soon. The walkers will be here. Perhaps we should stay in the windmill to keep safe from the evil ones.
Oh,
So,
I was gonna say we should just rip the door off, but
so going up to the door is already a bit cracked open. There's no lock or anything on it. It's just slightly cracked open, and it's kind of leaning off of its hinges, but it does obscure your vision of what's inside. You're unsure of what's inside, but the door is definitely like tilted off of its hinges, and would easily get pushed out of the way if somebody wanted to.
I'm gonna circle around the bottom of the windmill and see if I can see like any way I could, because I can see an open window up the top. I'm gonna see if there's like any way I could maybe climb up. And
Sure.
I can
Roll me
see
an
sort of like a
acrobatics
rough.
check.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. I can see like a rough path.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check. You try and hop, skip, and jump up to the top of the windmill, and as you do that, one of the bricks comes loose that your foot is on, and you kind of slip and bounce your snout off of the bricks, and your snout starts bleeding a little bit as you fall on your back, and everyone, you kind of hear a thud, and Fergus groan as he lands on his back.
Are you okay, Fergus? You good? Oh no, he's dead.
so if we were
I'm
to
all right, but I've only got. Listen, hear me out. I've only got 6 points of health. I don't think I should be jumping up the building. I need to be more careful next time. Has anyone got any of those healing potions or spells or something?
I do. I think I can heal you actually.
You're not hurt currently. No worries there. You didn't lose any HP.
From the other day. I'm still only on 6 out of 15.
Okay, so I'll say hit the long rest button up at the top of your character sheet because you did get a long rest. So hit long rest and then hit submit. You may have to hit submit on there. There might be like a submit or confirm button maybe. And then it should heal you up.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, never mind.
Because you
Sorry,
slept.
my bad.
When you sleep, your character heals all the way up.
Oh, okay.
So you're good.
Okay, then
And you
I'm
didn't
just
get hurt by
winded.
this
Then
one.
I'm sitting on the floor. I'm like,
And Shisa, what were you gonna say for you said if and then you got cut off.
Oh yeah, if we're gonna stay the night, like Egard said, like to stay safe from monsters, we would need to find stuff to barricade the door with because the door isn't strong enough to hold people out. Like, I don't know if this is a good place to stay. Like, if we can't find things, and I'll start looking around for like big furniture stuff to barricade the door with.
Okay. So this windmill, as you go up to the door, Shisa, to open it, you kind of slide the door out of the way and it just falls inward. The door literally just falls inward onto a pile of wheat grain that is inside the windmill, which kind of makes a little ramp for you to walk up onto. And as you go in here, this windmill is mostly empty except for a stairwell that kind of leads to the top. It's a spiral staircase that goes around the edge of the inside. And then it's got the wheat that's in the middle and a large rotating, almost like it kind of looks like an egg beater that sticks down from the top and attaches to the windmill. So basically it stirs the grain inside here. That said, it is kind of dark in here. Do you have dark vision as a character? I can't remember. I think
Yes, I do.
you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception check as you're looking around in here.
Okay.
And I'll let anyone else who wants to roll a perception check roll one as well.
Oh no.
Oh, I think I rolled with advantage by mistake. My bad.
All good.
Wait, I didn't. I just have it. Oh no, that's with disadvantage.
Yeah, it's
but that's
disadvantage.
like forced on me for some reason. Like it's just like there.
I fell down the stairs
weird.
or something. Damn.
It's okay.
Well-
It's okay, Jinx. You're getting the rolls out of the way for when the important shit comes up. Okay, so looking at these rolls here, it looks like Shisa, you don't really see much as you're standing on the door that had kind of fallen inward. You're standing on the edge of it. It's kind of like a little ramp up that lets you see above the pile of grain that's inside here. And like I said, all you see is that inner stairwell that kind of goes up, spirals at the inside of this windmill. There's light that shines in from the bricks that are missing on the edges of the windmill as well. And one of these lights is shining Moonsey and Fergus, so Crocus and Fergus. You both see this light is shining on what looks like a patch of like a brown colored maybe paint on the edge of the inside of the windmill. So like underneath the stairs, there is sunlight that's coming from one side of the windmill and it's shining on the wall. And that wall has some like brown paint on it that you're unsure what it is, but you do notice it, and it is distinct. Like it is out of place. The rest of the inside of this building looks gray, but for some reason there's like some brown paint kind of splattered across the wall inside here.
They chose terrible coloring. Why brown?
I think
Crocus,
there's
I'm
something
gonna-
on that wall.
Yeah.
Crocus, as you
Yeah.
walk up to it, roll me a nature check.
Church.
Oh, nature.
Dunk.
Okay. With a 6, you don't know what this is necessarily just by looking at it, but you know that it's not paint for sure. It's definitely not paint. It's some
Guys,
kind of
I think-
natural thing.
It's
It's
definitely
definitely
not.
blood.
What if it's poop?
It
Then
is
it would
brown
smell.
after all.
But blood, when it dries, it turns brown, doesn't it?
Yeah. Maybe, hear me out. This might be a long shot, but maybe this is a sign that we shouldn't stay here and we should go guns blazing straight to the epicenter and take on these guards no matter the time of day. Because I'm
Maybe-
not gonna lie, if that is blood, it just proves that this is not a suitable stationing point for the night, and I think we should move on.
I think
But
we
I will
should
stick
check.
with the group. I will stick. We can decide as a team what we should do.
I want to go check it out.
So,
Can I go
once-
check it out?
Which one do you want to check out? Like, what do you want to check out?
The wall. I want to look at
Yeah.
the wall closer.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Now that you've been given some options of what it might be, you've been told it could be feces, it could be blood. Go ahead and roll me another nature check, this time with advantage. So roll twice, take the higher number.
Okay. Nature. Dunk. Dunk.
Okay. With a 14, you can tell that this is dried blood on the wall. It has been splattered across the underside of these steps, and as you're standing there, kind of with your face close to it, but not super close, just close enough to kind of tell what it is. You kind of scratch at it a little bit, and that's where you can really tell the way it flakes off is definitely blood. You kind of wipe your hand on the wall or on your clothes to get it off. It's dry, so it doesn't stick to anything. It's just flaky. It looks like it's been here for a long time, like a long time. And as you do that, you are standing in about 2 feet or so of wheat grain that covers the bottom of this windmill, and you feel a kind of like lump in that wheat next to your feet, Crocus.
Oh, oh no. Kirkus kind of looks back at the group and just.
You feel something, some kind of lump in the wheat underneath, like right next to your right foot, like just touching your ankle, and it's heavy.
Oh, no. Can I uncover a little bit with my foot?
Yeah. As you kind of lift your foot up and uncover a little bit of that area, you see the teeth line and jaw of some creature, humanoid, that has a jaw that's kind of slacked open in a kind of lazy way, kind of like this. And as you wipe the grain across that area, some of it falls into the mouth of this creature, and you get a good look at the face. There's a gray, kind of rotting corpse underneath the grain here that you have just uncovered a bit of the face of.
Oh, hell no, let's leave.
Oh, look, Neffy will like this. Neffy, your favorite corpses.
She goes, ooh. She comes up to it and she says, she kind of rubs her hands together. She's like, should I use my thing?
Yeah, because then we can talk to
Yeah,
it.
do the
Talk to
thing.
the thing. Ugh.
Oh my god, it's a dead body. Oh.
It won't be for very long, Crocus. Just you wait.
It's coming back to life.
So Neffy kind of rubs her hands together, and as she does, she puts her hands on the corpse, and these kind of purpley black smoky spider webs encompass his body and start sewing the different pieces of his skin together that are ripped apart. And as he starts to kind of grumble, he makes like a horrible kind of guttural noise. And as he does, he gives a cough and coughs out a bunch of the wheat grain that had been just kicked into his mouth. He starts making all these kind of guttural, gross noises as he sits up against the edge of the wall. He
You
pushes
okay
himself
there?
back, and the spider webbing again kind of heals up pieces of his face, not all of it, but just enough so that his jaw can kind of pop back into place. And you see that there is a large cut on his abdomen where like his stomach is, that the webbing from Neffy's power is kind of closing up that cut. And you also see him as he looks down into the pile of grain, he actually picks out what looks like a piece of his own intestine and picks it up out of the grain, and he goes, "That doesn't look right."
It
And,
sure doesn't.
He sets it back down in the grain.
So what are you doing here?
He kind of tilts his head. He says, "It has been many years. It's hard to remember." He kind of looks around where he's at. He's going to roll a perception check to see if he can remember or see where he's at. He says, "Am I at the mill?"
You're. Mm-hmm.
He looks around, looks down at his hands. "I'm dead." Looks down at his stomach. "That's unfortunate." Looks up at the wall, at his own blood that's splattered across the wall. "Shit." And he looks at the rest of you guys, and he says, "What am I doing alive?" You're muted,
Well,
Ross.
So I'm gonna be right back.
You're muted, Ross.
We can't hear.
Sorry. Anyway, well, our good pal Neffy, she's a wee bit quiet, but she's got this magical ability to bring people back to life, and we kind of just want to ask you some questions about what's going on, really. So if you're feeling up to the challenge, like I know we've just awoken you from a slumber, and yeah, you look pretty dead, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
He
We'd
tilts
love
his
to.
head. Nods.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm glad we're on the same page here, buddy. Yeah. But listen, we're here. We're trying to work out about these guardians of the mythical seed that everyone talks about, and also like a little bit about this windmill. I don't know if you could enlighten us. I know that's kind of a lot of questions, but if you have any information at all, it would mean the world to us if you could help us out.
Yeah, he says, yes. I remember. As he looks up to the top of the windmill, I was hiding here from the night walkers. They found me.
Oh, so you saw one? What were they like?
So you remember there are two creatures that have been described to you. One is the guards that are unknown. You'd have no clue what they look like. Those are a separate creature that are specifically in that cornfield, from what you've heard, that kind of special cornfield with the seed in it. He is describing Nightwalkers, which you have heard of. They are those large, shadowy, wolf-like, like werewolf-like creatures that eat the sheep and the cattle of this area and kill the random travelers. As you now look down at the bottom half of his body, he's actually looks like he's missing most of his legs as well, which are nowhere to be found within the grain. He says, "My legs, I can feel them, but they're not there." He shakes his head. "Must have been eaten." He looks up at the wall. "Look," and he points at his own blood that's on the wall. And you can see that it's in kind of a splatter mark that goes upwards in a diagonal direction. So it looks like he was slashed by a claw of some kind, as you're looking at the slash on his stomach as well. Looks like he was slashed by a claw of some kind and left for dead here, or they ate his legs and then moved on after they killed him.
Yeah, they'd say the thigh is the best part.
He says, "That doesn't make me feel better."
I'm so sorry. Oh no.
Question. Do you feel anything?
What do you mean?
Well, you just said it doesn't make you feel better, but do you have any emotions right now? Like, I'm just kind of curious as to how this spell works.
Yes, I think. Neffy describes to you that the way it works is she can bring somebody back for 24 hours, and that person retains their personality for the most part of when they were alive. Things can change that. For example, this creature has been dead for what seems like a long time. So the reason he's talking the way he's talking is because his insides have mostly decomposed. His vocal cords and his jaw even are mostly decomposed at this point. So it's just like patchwork of flesh across his body. He looks like your long dead zombie. And he, personality-wise, seems like your standard adventurer kind of person, just like a regular, everyday kind of person. But you see he's looking around, and he's starting to get his bearings. Like, he's starting to kind of wake up, if you will. Like, this is within all, like, 2 minutes of him being raised from the dead after who knows how long. So he's kind of getting his bearings, and you can hear that his voice is speeding up, and he is getting back into, like, what it means to be alive. Like, so he's getting there if you give him some more time. But as he's looking around, he says, What time is it?" For you guys, it is almost 6 o'clock.
It's almost nighttime. It's almost
They'll
darkness falls.
be coming soon.
Who are they?
The walkers.
What shall we do?
He
Oh,
pounds his fist into the grain that's next to him, and
Down to
as he
run.
does that, his elbow like pops out a little bit when he does that, and he goes, "Ow!" and he pops his elbow back into place. And he looks up at the top of the windmill, and he says, "My supplies," and he points up to the top of the windmill, up at the top of the stairs.
I can go fetch your supplies. Can Egrid start going up the stairs?
I have no use for them, but you may have them.
I can have them. What are they?
Weapons, bandages, and a family heirloom.
Oh, I see.
What did you say your name was again?
My name is Lethrak. As you're looking at
Oh
him,
my god, it's not Benny.
We were hoping
Yeah,
you were
true.
a Benny.
Benny, my king.
nope, not that easy, unfortunately. But he says, "Yeah, my name is Lethrak." As you're looking at him, Tyria, you notice as he says that that's an elven name.
Oh, it's an elven name.
And as you're looking, he's got some elven features. His ear is just barely attached to the side of his head, and you do see a slight point at the top of the ear. This might be a half elf, so half human, half elf.
What made you decide to work in a windmill?
You recall he said he wasn't working. He said he was hiding here.
Oh,
He was hiding here from the Nightwalkers, and they
what
found
did
him.
you do before? Hiding.
I was a bounty hunter.
What were you trying to find?
He pats on his person a little bit, and he says, "Up in the supplies.
Have you heard of Moira before?
Goddess, long dead."
Dead?
So let's go get the supplies. Should we try to climb? Is it an acrobat check?
It's a spiral staircase that's inside the windmill. You just walk up the spiral staircase, a wooden spiral staircase that goes up the inside. As you go up there, I'm gonna say I think it was Egrid who asked first, so Egrid would probably be up there first, I would assume.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Egrid, as you're up there, you see an adventurer's pack, which is kind of like a backpack, and up at the top of these wooden staircases, it's like a wooden landing that looks out of a window, so you get kind of a nice view of this area of the world because you're high up. You can kind of see out this window, and the backpack is kind of leaning against the window, and it kind of jingles and makes loud noises as you pick it up, just metal noises inside the bag. And you can already see on the side of it there is a short sword that is like attached to it, kind of in one of the side holding pockets, and you can hear a bunch of stuff inside, but you're not sure what it is unless you open it up.
Oh, there's a lot in here. Egrid starts going back down the spiral staircase to meet the group.
You guys hear the clanking as Egrid comes down from the staircase. You hear there's a lot of clanking going on within the backpack as she comes down. So you bring it down.
Is there any... Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, is there anything you do remember? Perhaps some of this stuff in here can refresh your memory.
He says, "You may dump it out here," and he kind of clears some of the grain away to leave like an opening for you to dump some of the stuff out in front of him.
Okay,
this guy
Egrid
is
starts
no threat
emptying
to
it out
you
on the
at
floor.
all, by the way. This guy's no threat to you at all. He literally cannot move. He would have to crawl He has no weapons on him. He seems like he's just happy to have a little bit of time right now, just to be alive again. You can see a slight smile come across his face as he sees his old backpack, and he kind of like gives a shudder as you dump the stuff out onto the ground. He gives kind of like an excited shudder as he starts kind of pushing some of the stuff off to the side. His hands are literally falling apart as he's pushing the things to the side, kind of like spreading them out across the ground so that you guys can look at them. Literally, like the skin is peeling off as he's doing this. And he says, "Ah, yes." And you can hear his voice kind of getting quicker and more kind of normal as he says, "Ah, yes, that's my baby." And he points towards what looks like a bunch of pieces that go together to make some kind of object. Looks like a weapon of some kind. If you put all the pieces together, you might have an object of some kind. He points to it and he says, "That's my crossbow. That baby was perfect." And as he points to it, you can kind of see how the pieces would interlock together if somebody wants to try and put the crossbow together. He probably couldn't do it himself at this point. Up to you guys. Nobody want to do it?
Did it have a name? Egrid starts helping him put the crossbow together.
I called her Wanda.
Oh, I like that name.
It's a cute name. Good name.
He smiles as you start putting it together. Egrid, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check, please. So at the top where it says intelligence, click on the little number. Perfect. With a 12, that's just enough to be able to figure out how to put the crossbow together. So you interlock the different pieces together. You take some of the reinforced string that he has here in the bag with him, and you put together a really nice +1 crossbow. So it's a crossbow that, in all intents and purposes, is normal, except for it gets a +1 to its attack rolls and +1 to its damage as well. And then he points to what looks like a locket that is laying also on the ground after you put everything together, and he says, "And the heirloom," and he points to it.
Can we open it to see what's inside?
You may.
Thank you.
So as you grab the locket, it is a silver locket, and there's a little button on the side to press as you open it up. And when you pop it open, there is a very beautiful diamond jewel inside the silver locket. And inside, there's a bunch of magical runic carvings around that diamond as well. It's all embedded inside the locket. Like, you can't take it out. The diamond, like, you can't take it out from the metal unless you broke it. But it's like embedded into the object itself. And he says, "It is an amulet of invisibility. You wear
How
it
do you
and
use
can
it?
turn invisible once per day."
Where did you find something like this?
It's from the family. I'm
I
sure if you
see.
returned it to them, they would reward you with something even better.
What family?
He smiles and kind of looks down. "Well, she may know." And he looks up at Tyria.
Yo, what's up? I think the runes, I should be able to read them, right? Since I'm an elf.
Mhm.
Crocus hands
Exactly.
the locket to Tyria.
Am I supposed to know?
So
Okay,
no,
thanks
you're not
for-
supposed to know just off the top of your head. I'll tell you. So as you read the runes on the outside of the locket, first, some of them are magical. So some of them are magical runes that are just like magic words. But then you do see a family name as well, like a last name. So you have the name Lithrak, which is his name, his first name. But you have also a daughter's name, which you recognize as Lyria. So you got kind of like Tyria, but it's Lyria. So Lithrak and Lyria
Oh,
of
shit.
house, and their house name is Beltragal. House Beltragal, which you do recognize the name Beltragal. It is a royal elven name, not quite as royal as you, more like a duke, and less like a king or a queen. More like
shit!
a
He
duke.
was one of my subjects.
Mm-hmm. And you probably never talked to this particular family before, but also you recognizing this name would probably also remember that many of the elven royalty of years past have either stepped down from royalty for people hating them. There's a lot of people that hate elven royalty. So they either stepped down because they were tired of trying to deal with the protests and the masses, or whatever reason may be. And in this case, you probably have an idea why these people stepped down. And it's because it seems like whoever made this young man fell in love with a human, and that was not okay with most of the other elves. So they were probably forced to step down from royalty at that time because he is a half elf. So Lithrak is a half elf, and the house here has the name is kind of fallen out of favor because they are now kind of muddled with the human race as opposed to being pure. Which may not be something that you prescribe to. I don't know what Tyria prescribes to, or like what she believes in. If she believes in like the purity of the elves, or if she, it's kind of an Aryan type ideal. But
royalty is royalty.
So you kind of have you feel like a kinship towards.
Yeah.
Towards that's cool. He does smile as you recognize the name, and
I'm an asshole, not that much of an asshole. Oh, sorry, I wasn't muted, home. Oh, my bad.
You're good. I just wanted to make sure, hey, that can be, character arc or whatever, I would assume, that's something that would...
Character development,
character
let's
development.
go!
But with that, he says, "What house are you from?"
No, Delani.
He smiles and kind of sets his head back.
Something. I googled it.
You googled what?
No, Delani means like something silver moon or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I forgot what it was.
Nice.
I tried to find a moon related last name.
Nice. Did anybody write down the name of that family, by the way?
Nope.
I know his name's Letharg.
Yeah, his name's Lithrak.
It started with a B.
Letharg, my bad.
It's okay. So that was a name that
What was the name again? Do you remember the name?
So the thing is, I don't remember the name, which is
made
funny.
it up?
I made it up off the top of my head, but I had this character plan, but I didn't have the name plan. So what I'll do is I'll listen to the VOD again at some other time, and I'll just send the name to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So no worries there. But I definitely remember his name because I had his first name, which I did have, which is Lithrak. Yeah, Lithrak. Lithrak and Lyria are the son and daughter. So there is a sister out there. And there is a family out there who would probably very much be happy to know what happened to their son. So, this is D&D. Is I open up side quests for you to go at your leisure whenever you want. These side quests don't have to go anywhere. We could, go through this whole campaign and this never comes to fruition, and that's okay. That's life, You've gotten a cool amulet, which can be used to turn someone invisible once per day, and the invisibility lasts for an hour. Or until you, attack or something. So, if you do something to make yourself uninvisible, like attack something or, grab a door handle or something like that, that would turn you uninvisible. But otherwise, if you don't do anything like that, you'll be invisible for an hour.
I guess we should ask this guy if there's any weaknesses to the Nightwalkers, and if there's anything we can use against it to have a tactical advantage.
He says, "Well, I would recommend not being out in the regular fields at night, but if you have to be, I would say keep your distance. They are weak in their range. If you can get the high ground or at a good range on them, you can take them out before they ever get to you.
Well, we have a tower, and now we have a crossbow. Perhaps we stay here for the
Oh my
night.
god, Pigrid. Maybe you're telling me it's so bad.
Dwarves are smart creatures, very underestimated.
Can we
Well,
get like Neffy to like block up the door so that nothing can get in? Maybe.
Sure. Yeah, she can web up the door. Her webs are not that strong though. They're like spider webs, so.
Mm.
Is there anything that we could build that's around that we could barricade the door with?
Not
must
really,
prepare
other
for
than
battle.
the broken blade that's laying out in the wheat field. The broken blade, the windmill blade, so the one that like broke off and fell to the ground. You could maybe
So we
lean
should
that
probably
up against the doorway.
close the door and then put the
Right.
broken blade to barricade it a little.
Could do that.
Perhaps we have time to set up some traps around the outside before night falls.
And Neffy has poison, right?
I don't believe so.
Never mind. So she was a spider.
We
Yeah,
can
not that
use
kind of
Neffy's webs as a net. Lay it out and
What do you want to
trap 'em.
net?
We could dig some holes and then put leaves and sticks over them so they could fall into them. I don't know.
Exactly. Just like the cartoons of olden days.
Could I maybe like grow like a barrier with some plants, like maybe some corn? I don't know.
So, have you read through your character's godly ability yet?
I've read a little bit of it, but
Okay. It's pretty
not
special. It
all
can
of
do a
it.
lot of things, but it does it at random.
oh,
And you, as long as you're near a plant of some kind, which you are at this point, you could go to one of like the wheat stalks out here in the field and use your ability if you wanted to.
I think I'll save it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't remember when I said you could use it. I think, did I say once per day you could do it? I can't remember.
Yeah, once per day.
So, this day is coming to a close. So if you would like to use it, you can, it'll refresh when you wake up. So, up to you. There's no there's no pain in using it, other than I can't see. I made that ability a while back. I can't remember. I might have put some negative things in there, which could be dangerous if they happen, because you're still learning your powers. So,
Right. I think I'm just gonna hold off for now.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. That'll be a cool moment when that happens. So, with that, you guys take the large blade and lean it up against the door. You have Neffy kind of web it up, and you make yourself a barricade inside the windmill. Is that the plan? Sound good to everybody? Okay. Any other preparations you guys want to make before nightfall?
White, I have something that I haven't shown you guys. And then Ygritte starts to take off her glove that covers her weird ass glowy hand.
Yeah, it's
And
in the
she's
darkness
like-
here. It kind of glows this kind of orangey white color across the inside of this.
Something's telling me to use this and to channel this energy to imbue one of these weapons. Perhaps I shall use it on this new crossbow. It says roll a d12. It says once per day a bonus action. You may imbue your weapon with a magical ability. Roll a d12.
Mm-hmm. So you rolled your d12, which you rolled a 9. So what does it say on the...
Find the corresponding number on the chart, and depending on your roll, that ability will be imbued into your weapon until the next time you use this ability.
Yep. So which weapon are you
So
rolling on? Are you doing
9
the
is-
crossbow?
Yeah, 9 is a healing weapon. As an action, you can choose a creature within 30 feet of you and heal it by pointing your weapon.
Yep.
The weapon has a pool of 10 HP that you can expend, split as you choose. Okay. So I have like a healing thing I can use
So
during
now the
fight then,
crossbow?
basically.
Yeah, the crossbow, as you use this ability, it kind of glows this white color around it as you imbue it with this blessing. And the Like-
Yeah.
The kind of the metal pieces that make up parts of the crossbow kind of shine with the light that comes off of it, and you feel the radiant, divine, positive energy that kind of radiates off of this weapon now. This weapon will be forever imbued with this ability until you use your ability again. So once you imbue another weapon, then this one will go away. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so since it's healing now, does that mean I can't use it on enemies or it'll heal them?
No. So what you do is you kind of like you point the crossbow at an ally and you pull the trigger and no arrow flies out. It just heals them for whatever amount.
Okay.
If you had a sword, you'd slash at them and it would go through them and heal them or something like that.
Okay,
So,
yeah, okay.
Friendly fire. Fucking hell.
yeah, it is like a friendly fire type thing. Okay. All right, so you have imbued your crossbow. It's now +1 crossbow with a pool of 10 points of healing that you can give out, chosen as you choose. So you can give like 8 points of healing to somebody one turn, and then 2 points to another person another turn, and then you're out for the day. And then it'll refresh when you wake up.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Any other things people want to do? Preparations to be made. Egrid, when you use that ability, you feel a connection to your father in a way that you don't often feel. It's once in a while that happens to you, and it seems like he was calling out to you in this moment to remind you of your power. And you don't hear him or anything, but you sense his presence.
I don't know what happened. That just came from within me. Out of nowhere, I sensed a presence that was telling me to imbue this weapon.
Does your hand always glow like that, or
Always.
always?
That's why I cover it. It's embarrassing. Meagre puts her glove back on.
Oh my gosh, we never needed flashlights.
That's not embarrassing. That's cool.
Thank you.
Nice.
When did you learn that your hand would start glowing?
It's been like that since I was a child. My parents just told me to hide it. Kind of like, have you heard that story about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
I have heard of Rudolph.
It's exactly like that.
Egrid
They were
the
embarrassed
glowy
of
hand.
me. Exactly.
It's not quite bright enough to be like a flashlight or like a torch, but it does glow in a very obvious way that would stand out in darkness. So
Like a dim oil lamp or something like
mhm,
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it
Well,
wouldn't be enough
Egrid,
to like
I'm
light
gonna
your
have
way.
to ask you while you're sleeping to lean your hand against the wall so you can light the room up, please.
You know, I could. It has a little bit of a glow to it.
Yeah, it's not enough to really light up the whole room.
Nightlight hand.
Nightlight
go,
hand.
go.
I love it. All right. Anything else anyone wants to do before we roll onward?
I don't really have anything I can do action-wise, so I think I'm pretty chilling.
Okay.
Good to go.
Sounds good. Then we will continue on here as the night begins to fall, and Lethrak kind of leans up against one of the one of the stairs. Kind of crawls his way over to one of the stairs and leans up against it. And you can see he's trying to get away from the door. Even at this point, he probably has a little bit of PTSD from what happened to him. As he's leaning up against the stairs, he says, "You all are crazy. Why are you staying here?"
Look back at number 1. Crazy. Mm-hmm.
He laughs. He says, "Well, I know I'm not long for this world, but if I can help, I will."
Thank you.
He nods his head. Looking around, he says, "The front pocket." He points to his bag. He says, "There's a notebook in there, and it has who I was searching for." I was trying to receive a bounty.
I guess, can I roll investigation to look or something? In the
You could
notebook?
just grab it. He points to
Okay.
the front pocket of the backpack that's kind of across the way from him. And looking in there, you find a small notebook. It is like palm sized, so pretty tiny, with a little pencil that's tied to the edge of it. And as you open it up, there are like 20 or so names on the first 2 pages, and the rest of it's empty. So it looks like he hasn't done much necessarily. I don't know. Would you consider 19 other bounties a lot? I don't know. It depends on your character, I guess. But it seems like he's completed 19 bounties. He was on his 20th bounty, and the name he was looking for is Terrence Grover. And he's got some notes written under Terrence's name. It says half-orc. It says mass murderer. And it has a reward of 600 gold pieces for his head. And the city he needs to take it to. It's actually a town. So if you bring Terrence Grover's head to... let's see. Let's pick a town. Little Rock. Little Rock town. You'll get 600 gold pieces. So,
Yeah.
that can be.
Well,
a
where
little
is
side thing as well.
Terrence Grover? Where do we find him?
Last I tracked him, he was headed towards Thebes.
I see. We'll keep an eye out for him.
Hey, somebody may have already found him. He could be long dead by now. Who knows?
Fair enough.
So, as you guys sit in the quiet and you hear the locusts around you and the sun goes down, the openings in the edges of the windmill are covered up by the webs that Nephi makes, so it is all dark inside here. The night goes quiet, just except for that faint ring of the locusts in the background. And
Well, Lothrak, you're not going to be with us much longer. Is there anything else we shall know before you perish?
he kind of looks around and at the group of you, and he says, "Thank you, but I have nothing else for you. Thank you for bringing me back." And he looks specifically at Nephi, who kind of like ruffles her skirt, like pulls down her skirt a little bit and kind of like shyly like looks away, and she's like, "It's no big deal."
If there's any chance that we might stumble into your family, is there anything we could maybe tell them for you?
Let me write something in the notebook. And he says, "I'll write this in my handwriting so they know you're not lying." And he writes down a little bit of his story of what happened to him on the 3rd page of the notebook. So you have.
Do you want to
a bit of
sign it?
proof.
Do you want us to take anything to your family? We can.
You have one thing already that they'll want.
Okay, cool.
You have their family amulet.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, he has a few more hours with you guys as you all take your rest. So everyone, if you used a spell or an ability of some kind, you can take a long rest. So everyone up at the top, take a long rest. And I know you did a lot of prep work. but there's no combat during this night. You do hear some distant noises, some grumbling coming from a far off area, but you are not approached or attacked by the night walkers here in the windmill. You get a rest, and you make it through the night a-okay. With that, when you wake up, Mr. Lithrak is a pile of dust on the ground. No longer with us.
Oh. Fly high, buddy.
So, you wake up for your day, you eat some rations. Does anybody cook? Want to do a little cooking? Okay, go ahead and roll me a... Which one are you better at, nature or survival, Tyria?
Nature.
Roll me a
I think.
nature check.
Actually, let me double check. I assume nature. Nature +2, survival +1. Yeah, it was nature.
Okay, roll me a nature check.
Whoop.
Not so good.
3? Fuck!
Yeah, not so good. The meal today ends up, you were gonna make like a really nice like breakfast stew for everybody, using some of the tools that you've gotten, but it didn't turn out quite as you wanted, and so you end up having to dump it out. And it's the kind of thing where you're prideful enough where like you would not feed this to somebody, like what you've made. It's not good enough for your standards, so you're like, fuck this, and just throw it
I
out.
would not fail in real life. Okay, fine. Throw it out. You guys eat berries today.
Yeah, so you guys just eat some rations and some regular food for today. With that, you guys finish up your breakfast and you head on towards the area where you're headed to. Now, as you continue on horseback, I do want to have a character interaction here, as we haven't talked to him in a while. Fergus, as you're riding on the horse, you hear from Dom behind you as he says, "Hey, buddy. Are you sure I'm going to be useful here?"
Dom, listen. I love you, mate, with my whole heart. I really do. And you've been a great use, and you've been a fantastic companion to the entire group. But I do fear that the challenge we have approaching may be a little how do I put this? Dangerous. And as much as I joked and called you scared and called you anxious, I really wouldn't want to put you in harm's way. And I have a bad feeling about what's to come. So Dom, if you don't feel safe, joining us on the adventures coming up, then I understand, my friend, and I will see you when I return from these adventures.
Well, I don't
I'm
really have
crying.
anywhere to go. But maybe I could wait, outside wherever you're going and watch the horses.
Yeah, that would actually work really well. And you already know how to tend to horses as well. So actually, you know what? We can give you a few silver coins as well, so you can get yourself a beer next time we're back in Thebes.
You
then
don't
that way
need to do that.
Don't be silly, Dom. You know I like to treat you well, but I just don't want you getting in harm's way. So, especially if you have nowhere to go, I think looking after the horses for us would be a fantastic outcome, because then I get to keep you close by, but I get to keep you out of danger's reach.
Okay, buddy. You got it, man. I'll do that then.
Hell
So you got
yeah.
a plan for Dom. And here is where things get tense. It is about midday as you arrive at the expansive cornfield of legend. The way you know that you're here is subtle. It looks like any other cornfield, but you were given a hint by the farmers, and this helps you discover it. You were given a hint that the corn stalks in this area are extremely hard to push over. And so every cornfield you've been walking by, you kind of push on the corn stalks a little bit. They all seem pretty normal. And you even come across one cornfield that seems huge, seems ginormous. Looks like it goes on for miles. And you notice the corn there seems pretty normal. Everything seems pretty normal there. So you walk by that one too. And the one you finally get to is, to say expansive would be an understatement. Looking out across the horizon, you literally cannot see an end to it. You get up on the back of your horse, Fergus, to kind of look across the area, and it is endless corn stalks as far as the eye can see. Then they head out all the way towards what's probably the coastline of this continent. And you see no creatures in this area. Sorry, that's my... Where's my phone?
A bop.
That's my alarm to take my pill. Okay. I'm going to set it for 1 hour from now. Okay. Got it. Sorry about that. So, you recall that the farmers told you that there was someone who was trying to farm this area. There was someone who was taking the leap of faith to try and actually farm this area, and it was extremely hard to do because of the way that these corn stalks are so healthy. They are so extremely hard to chop down that it makes farming this area very difficult, and they grow back so quickly that it would be very useful if you could farm this area. But the problem is it's very difficult. It requires a lot of workers, and for a lot of people, it's not worth it because from what people know, the corn tastes the same in this area. I mean, people have tried it, and it's just it's kind of a pain in the ass to try and farm. But remembering what the farmers said, and that they said that there was someone out here who was trying to do this, you do see a farmhouse, and that is the only building you see out in this area. One thing that strikes your mind first is, how would somebody not be killed by the guards that are supposed to be out here in this cornfield, right? Like, how would they make a house like this? But then you recall that maybe they're not looking for the seed. Maybe they're just here farming. And those guards seem pretty tied to the seed itself, to people who are looking for the seed. And you're not sure how the guards know, but you have a feeling that this person is not being attacked because they are just here farming. They are not here trying for like some alternative means or for some other reason, some negative reason. So with that said, you guys see a farmhouse. It's small, kind of looks like the house from Courage the Cowardly Dog, if you've ever seen that show. It's just like a brown little wooden farmhouse, and you have a feeling maybe somebody lives there, but it's real tiny. And it's out there in the middle of this expansive cornfield that seems to go on forever. And other than that, behind you is the way you came. To your left and your right is more corn. You feel like you're here, but it doesn't feel special. And that kind of gives you like an unnerving feeling. Like it doesn't feel like a special place. And maybe that's because that would be the best place to hide something like this. Some place that's just... it's not special in any way. It's easy to get to, and maybe that's the best hiding place for it. Hiding in plain sight type thing. So with that, what would you guys like to do? What's your plan?
Perhaps we should ask them if they need help with the farm work to try to fit in.
I think we should go check out the farm. I feel like maybe we can find some more answers.
I agree.
Okay. So you guys head towards the farm. Your horses are left at the edge of the cornfield because they literally cannot push the corn. Like their bodies are too big to push the corn out of the way because the corn is so rigid in the way that it stands. So Dom is going to wait at the edge of the cornfield with the horses, okay? He takes them off into a kind of secluded little area that has just a few trees here and there. It's like a tiny little patch of forest, and he takes the horses over there so you guys know where he's at. And you head towards the farmhouse. It's midday as you arrive, and the wind blowing across this flat crop area is intense. The wind kind of blows in your ears very loudly, and you can hear the house creaking as you walk up to it. Just and before you even get to it, you hear a voice from inside say, what do you want? What do you all want? You don't see a person, you just hear a voice.
Oh, we don't want any trouble. We were actually wondering if you needed any help tending the farm.
Help? You hear a pause, and then you hear some footsteps inside the house, and he comes to the front door and kind of swings it open. This person is dressed just like a classic farmer. He's got like blue overalls on, big boots, straw hat, piece of wheat sticking out of his lips.
Big boots? Sorry, had to.
He's got the Timbs on.
Yeah.
And the race is ambiguous. It's hard to tell. He looks humanoid, like human, but his skin is a little grayer than most humans. He's got a kind of bushy beard and a curly mustache. And he says, well, I could always use help. And he takes the piece of wheat out from his lips, and he says, y'all do not look like farmers. What happened? Why am I hearing that? Are you guys hearing me?
I heard you twice for a second.
That was weird. That was Ross, wasn't it, Ross?
No, I swear, I didn't know what the hell. I didn't do nothing, man.
What the hell was that? Did you guys hear that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, it's part of it's the echo. It's such a big room in this cottage that it echoes, man.
It's crazy. That was weird. All right. So, farmer seems healthy. He's got big muscles and seems like he's working a hard worker. You see a scythe that is leaning up against his doorway that he probably uses to cut things down. You can see around where his house is, the corn has literally grown so close to his house that the vines are creeping up the edges of his house. Seems like he cleared out the way to build this thing, and you're not sure how long it took him, but it probably took him a while to build this little house. And he seems determined to want to try and make this work. Again, he looks very muscular, like he's been doing this for a long time. And he kind of raises an eyebrow and he says, I never seen people like you before.
Oh, well, we're just some lonely adventurers. We're actually wanting a place to stop and eat, so perhaps we could trade.
He kind of raises an eyebrow and, kind of catching you off guard, he goes, y'all here for the seed?
What seed?
Roll a deception check, and depending on how well you do here, could mean a lot. Okay. He puts his raised eyebrow down, and he says, well, howdy then. I could use some help. Here, I got some more scythes in the basement. He walks around the edge of the house, pushing some of the corn out of the way and making a path for you guys, and goes to the back of the house where there is like a cellar door that he flips open and walks down these kind of dirt steps into the basement. He says, y'all just wait here. I'll be right back. He goes down into the cellar, comes back with a few more scythes and kind of hands them up out of the cellar at whoever's standing at the top of the cellar. Gives each of you a scythe to do some corn cutting. And as he does that, he kind of comes out of the basement, clutching a little white package that he is like holding on to. It's covered in cloth and kind of close to his chest. And he says, y'all ever cut corn down before?
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Whenever I was a child, we used to cut corn down all the time.
He kind of looks you guys up and down. He specifically walks over to Tyria, and he kind of looks over at Tyria, walks up to her, and then he takes his kind of dirty fingernail and pokes her in the arm a little bit. And I don't know how Tyria would react to that.
Of course I've done whatever to the corn. Yep.
And he says, your arms are kind of flabby for
Okay, bitch.
Tyria.
Fergus, you also have a negative in strength, right?
I believe it's about technique, not pure strength. Asshole.
Yeah, I have a -1, yeah.
And he says,
She is a scrawny one.
he says to you, Fergus, he says, and are you even gonna be able to see over the stalks? The
Listen,
answer's no, by the
buddy,
way.
I might be 3'2", but I have a heart of gold. I might not be able to see over these stalks, but I will work them harder than any worker you've ever seen before.
Okay.
My magic is strong enough.
He nods. He says, I like your determination, folks. Well, I'll pay you. How about we say, for each stalk that you bring me, I'll give you a gold piece.
Okay.
That sounds easy.
He kind of smiles and laughs a little bit, and he says, okay, well, I'll be waiting inside. And he walks up to his doorstep and goes inside and leaves you out here in the cornfield with these scythes. So who wants to take a stab at it, literally?
Perhaps.
In my determination and with my bruised eagle, I run up to the stalks with my scythe drawn, and I just hack away.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an athletics check with disadvantage.
How do I do disadvantage again?
So hold control and then click.
I've already got -1. Fucking hell.
I actually have a sickle, apparently.
Not bad. Okay, you could use that if you wanted to, as opposed to the scythe. You would just get less stock.
I want to try.
Okay, yeah. So anyone who wants to try here, if you have a negative in strength, you roll with disadvantage. If you have anything else, you roll straight. Just roll a straight athletics check here.
Ah,
How do you roll with the disadvantage again? What's the key?
Control.
Hold down control
Control.
and then click.
perhaps Tyria could try her flames.
Leon actually rolls a 20, not a natural 20, but a 20. Tyria, roll again. Crocus, roll again. And then I'll roll for Neffy as well. Wow. Okay. That's funny. Okay, so we got a 5 for Tyria. We got a 4 for Fergus. We got a 4 for Shisa. We got a 15. Well, hold on. Crocus needs to roll one more time.
Athletics?
Yeah, athletics.
Okay. Go. Yeah.
So, a 3 for Crocus. And an 11 for Egrid. Colin's character Leon rolled a 20 unnatural, and Neffy rolled a natural 20. So here's what happens. Those of you who rolled less than 20 on your athletics check, your scythe bounces off the corn stalk and does not cut it down. Anyone who rolled less than a 20 Now, Leon
Bruh.
gets 1 stalk of corn with his 20, his unnatural 20. He gets 1 stalk of corn with his scythe, and it falls to the ground with a loud thud. And Neffy gets 5 stalks of corn as she hits just the perfect edges of each of the stalks and slices down 5 stalks of corn with her natural 20. So this gives you an idea of how rough it is to get these corn stalks to come down. It is extremely difficult. For those of you that have a negative in your athletics, it would be almost impossible for you to cut down one of these stalks of corn unless you roll the natural 20.
2 natural 20s.
2 natural 20s at the same time. So,
what's the chance of that? Is that 20 multiplied by 20? Yeah, right? No.
I want
So the chance of that is 1 in 400. Lol. Sorry.
I want to grab Leon by his horns and go, well, get to work, farmer boy. And I look at Neffy and I tell her, great job. That was amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
Perfect.
So true. Queen Neffy.
Leon says, I don't know if I can do that again.
I believe in you. You do it. You're a strong guy. You got big muscles.
The next one he rolls is a 17.
There's got to be an easier way to do this.
So it seems like these scythes are meant for cutting corn, and they are giving you the ability to do so, and it's just not quite working. Now, if you want to try something else, you can. Tyria, if you want to try some fire magic, or if somebody else wants to try a different kind of spell.
Can I do Chaos Bolt?
Chaos Bolt is random in its type of damage, so it could. You could use it, sure. Depending on the type of damage, it could work.
Ray of Frost. If you freeze something, it's easier to cut, right?
Sure, and becomes more brittle.
Okay, let's try Ray of Frost.
Sure. So you don't even need to roll Ray of Frost. You just you can roll.
Oh, good, because I rolled a 1. Let's ignore that.
You're good. So if you Ray of Frost one of them, I would say, just go ahead and roll damage. Just roll damage.
Okay,
so click on the damage.
Is that the effect? Is it effect or hit DC?
It's the one to the right of hit DC. There you go. So with two,
all right,
two cold
I rolled
damage.
a 1 and a 2.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it. With 2 cold damage, not enough to kind of freeze the corn stalks. You're realizing this guy has a tough job. There's no wonder that he's so buff, and there's no wonder that people don't try this. This is not something that most people would try and do. Now, this guy seems welcoming, you know. He seems like he's kind of making fun of you right now a little bit. He's watching you from the inside, and you can tell that he gave you these scythes and this opportunity on purpose. 1 gold is kind of a lot. And the fact that he would offer you 1 gold for each stalk of corn means that he probably did not expect you to get very many. That said, he's surprised when Neffy cuts down 5 of them. And he goes, you hear a, holy shit, from inside. Neffy picks up her stalks of corn and lays them on the front porch. And Leon does the same with his 1.
Because I want to... You know, again, because I've kind of bruised my ego and I decided to go in all guns blazing and completely, just bounced off the stock. Whilst everyone was messing around with, cutting their own stocks down, I took some initiative and I guess tried walking a bit further into the field to kind of investigate what was going on beyond the stocks. So I'm going to roll perception.
That works for me.
I don't know why it rolled with advantage there.
It's okay. You rolled the same number twice.
I don't know why it's doing that. It's doing that for like all my rolls. I'm not pressing anything.
You might want to check your D&D or your Beyond 20 Chrome application and make sure your settings in that Chrome application are not set to like automatic.
I'm gonna refresh. Just ignore this next roll. I'm just to see if it'll do anything.
Sure, no problem. There
Okay, fine. Weird. Okay, fine.
All right, so with a 7 perception, I'll tell you there's not much out here in the cornfield that you can see. You hear a lot of those locusts in the area. I'll tell you that you do see it's something you saw before when you were looking out across this cornfield already. You do see a few scarecrows that are sticking up out of the corns. That's what I'll say. You kind of see through some of the stalks that there's a scarecrow nearby.
Okay, doke. So I'm gonna run back to the group and I'll say like, guys. I think this guy's trying to distract us. I've seen some scarecrows. I'm a bit too short to see anything else, but there's that's all I can really see in this field. I'm not sure what we should do, guys. I think we might be wasting our time. This guy in the cottage, he definitely knows something's up. He asked us about the seed. I don't know. Like, what do you guys want to do?
Say, maybe we just ask the farmer what the hell is going on here, and we ask him, what were you saying about that seed?
Yeah,
Maybe we
need
should
to
just be
find out
honest and tell them we're here for the seed.
Yeah.
I think, listen, being honest, if we're honest with him, he might laugh at us and ask us why we lied to him, and then he might not give us any information. I think we should try befriending him and see if we can get him to slip any information out. Because he said he was going to give us these gold pieces for the stocks, and he said he was going to feed us. So maybe over lunch we can try and tease some information out of him. And if we don't get anything, then after lunch we be honest with him.
Yeah, good idea. It's a good idea.
Okay. So he comes out onto the porch and grabs the 6 stocks that you guys cut down for him, and he hands Neffy 5 gold and Leon 1 gold. And he says, well, I assume y'all be taking off then, since you can't be of much help.
Well,
Oh,
what happened to this lunch?
Well, we can do lunch, sure, but what is your plan after that?
We're gonna go strolling.
Stroll through these cornfields is kind of dangerous.
We just really like corn.
why do you think it's dangerous?
Well,
I did notice the corn was kind of thick.
He does kind of nod his head. He says, well, there are beings, and his eyes get real big, beings out there that may not want you in the cornfields. And he kind of raises an eyebrow.
Beans?
Not beans, beings.
Oh.
B-E-I-N-G-S.
I was trying to figure out why beans wouldn't want us in the field, but cool.
Why? What beings do you speak of? What are you talking about, pal? We just came here to earn some money, get some lunch, and carry on our merry walk. And you're sprouting some bizarre information upon us, my friend.
He kind of puts his hand over his mouth and he goes, you don't know?
About what?
He shakes his head a little bit. And then he looks up at Crocus. And he kind of looks you dead in the eye, Crocus. And he says, you don't know?
Don't know what?
He looks at the rest of you guys, kind of making quick eye contact with everybody. And then back to Crocus. You don't know. Really?
What?
What kind of daughter are you? And the whole room kind of goes silent. Crocus, you can kind of hear your heart beating in your chest.
He
And
knew we'd be coming.
he looks you real like deep into your soul, Crocus. And he stands up straight, kind of brushes himself off a little bit, and he says, "Why don't y'all tell me why you're really here?"
Well, we've kind of had a turbulent past few days. Listen, mate, like we're hoping not to get you, and we were hoping not to get you involved because it seems that we leave a bit of a path of destruction in our wake. But I guess it's time for us to come clean because it seems that you know a lot more than we do. We were approached by this elderly gentleman, and he's kind of set us on a mission to find Crocus's parents. And apparently they're locked in some mythical seed, and the only clue we know is that this seed is encompassed by a field of thick stalked corn. Now, call me Sherlock Holmes, but I think we found the field, and it seems that you are the only inhabitant of the area around us. And I listen, man. We need to toss us anything, any breadcrumbs, anything at all. Like nobody seems to know it. It seems to be hearsay, but if anything, my friend, you're a local. You know, we've given you your 6 stocks, and I think Neffy has done a pretty damn good job at it. But listen, my friend, we're looking for anything. All we've heard is rumor and hearsay, and we really want to reunite Crocus with her parents.
He smiles as he looks down at the wooden floor of this house, and you see that he's chuckling, but not in like a malicious way, but in kind of like a exasperated way, like he's exhausted. He kind of gives like a and as he does, he looks up at Crocus again, and then the rest of you guys, and he says, in a new accent, by the way, he sounds completely different than what he sounded like before. He says, "You don't remember me." And as he says that, his visage changes a bit. His blue overalls, kind of shimmer in the light, and they change into a suit of beautiful sapphire blue armor that encompasses his chest and his arms. And as he tilts his head again in that kind of familiar way that he did before, you see his entire body change to have a bit of fur on it, and some bovine ears pop out, and his nose kind of changes to a bovine shape, and he has this big septum piercing that kind of pierces his septum for his cow nose, and he says, "You don't remember me, little sister? You were not supposed to come looking for mother."
Oh no. Oh no. Crocus walks out. Crocus walks out.
Excuse me. Why would she not? Why would she not? Why would she not be meant? Why would she not be meant to be? I can't speak. I go up.
This is
Okay,
a
you
weird
got
family
this.
reunion.
You got this, bestie.
Why would Crocus not be allowed to come and look for her parents? Why would you say that to her? This is your sister. When was the last time you saw her? You've just made her storm out.
He smiles a gentle smile as his ears kind of droop down, and he takes the scythe that's kind of leaning on the chair next to him and leans on it. He picks it up and kind of leans on it a little bit, and as Crocus, as you walk out into the field, you feel a strong sense of confusion and maybe a bit of anger coming from somewhere that you're not even sure where. But I would like you to roll me a history check, please.
History. Oh my god.
Wow, that is a story moment right there. Rolling a natural 20. So we'll get to that in just a minute. I'll come right back to that. So to keep in line with like the timeline that's going on here, Fergus, you asked that question, and immediately he says, well, it is not that she can't speak to Mother, it's that neither of us are supposed to be here for Mother. And now that we are, the cat is out of the bag, and those guardians are going to be coming for us. We don't have much time.
With the guardians, can we hide?
He again kind of leans on his scythe a little bit, shakes his head, and walks forward. As he does, his armor kind of clanks as he walks, similar to the way yours does, Egrid. And he looks at the lot of you and at the open door that Crocus left, and he says, I have been searching for her for years, and now you say that an old man has sent you. And he kind of looks at the rest of you. He says, I have not met an old man. I had to find all this out on my own. And he shakes his head again. Our father should have told her. He should have told her a lot of things.
Told her what?
Him and Mother sent me away when we were both children. And it's uncanny that I can recognize her so simply. It's like fate has drawn us back together. But you seem to be here for a different reason. I'm here for my own personal reasons. I want to meet my mother. I had heard the stories of the guards and all of the terrible things that happen in this area. I know that she's locked away. But all of that was research I found on my own. The rest of you've been sent here on a mission. None of you have a connection to my mother, do you?
I have no connection.
Well, there is one connection. I suppose you've been honest with us. This old man I was telling you about 5-10 minutes ago, he kind of dropped a bit of a bombshell on us, your sister included, and it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting that you weren't present because I don't know what that says about you. I don't mean that in an offensive way, but this older gentleman made us aware that we were all demigods, and we were told to look for our parents. The first of which is Crocus's lovely parents. Now I'm confused as to why you weren't invited. If they really were your parents, wouldn't you also be a demigod?
He kind of looks around at the lot of you and he says, well, I don't know. I haven't really had much information to go off of. That's why I wanted to ask her myself. But I guess that answers that question then, doesn't it?
Well, it's not definitive. This is what I'm saying. Like, perhaps we were hand selected. I'm not too sure.
Maybe
think-
these people.
I wish I had the old man to hand to help me answer these questions, but I guess we can only go off what's confirmed, and Crocus is she's a demigod and she's pretty fucking great.
As you say that, Crocus, with your natural 20 on your history check, you standing out here in this cornfield, hearing the conversation behind you just faintly through the walls of the house. You hear the locust around you and you close your eyes, and for a moment you swear you can hear the laughter of children as you think back to being young, spending your time with your parents at the bakery, your Furbolg parents. And you remember a friend or a sibling. Yes, a sibling. But you had forgotten about them. And you're not sure why. The memory of them comes rushing back, though. His name is Kitan. 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 And you don't remember everything about him, but you do remember that you used to play together with the dough that Dad used to roll. You used to go and watch the sunset together. You used to play out in the mud and the rain puddles together. Faint memories just come flashing back of different moments that you spent together, dinners that you had with family. And you also remember a traumatic feeling of loss that may have kind of hidden itself away in time. This feeling because he went missing when you were a kid. Nobody really knew where he went, but you remember you were no older than 3. That's why I'm giving this to you with your natural 20 history check. This is all stuff that happened when you were a baby, basically. But all of these memories that you have are from when you were about 3 years old. And the last memory you have is this extreme sadness knowing that he was gone. But then over the years, as kids do, you've forgotten about it. It's been a long time. And it's uncanny, the resemblance that this person has to your past. You can tell that they have a connection to you in some way. And you also recall that he's younger than you. By just a bit. And you swear you could remember Mom being pregnant as well. Furbolg Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Which means this young man may not be a demigod. He may just be a brother. A half-brother.
Oh my goodness.
And he has found his way to this conclusion that your Furbolg Mom, who is no longer around, was not his real mom, but his real mom was Moira. That's what he thinks, it seems.
Right.
And he has gone on his own life mission to try and prove that. And seems like he's been holding up, being very patient here at this farm, spending his time toiling away at the farm, trying to figure out how he was going to do it. And you have kind of kicked things into high gear for him. As he showed up, he was Seems like he may have been expecting you, but maybe not like this. And you're not sure why he didn't reach out sooner, but those are all questions you can ask. I know that's a lot.
Oh my god.
So, what would you like to do?
I guess I have to go back in. I have to confront this.
So you come back in right at the moment where he finishes talking with Fergus. There's a lull in their conversation right as you come through the door. And he says, "Sister, are you okay?"
I kind of just look at him. And then I embrace him.
He hugs you back tightly. You feel, first of all, this is definitely not an illusion of some kind. This is not somebody pretending to be your brother. This is someone who is very real. And you kind of grab a tuftful of his fur on his shoulder as you give him a hug. He lets the scythe kind of fall to the ground and clatter to the ground as you do that. And the sounds of the locusts in the area kind of almost quiet down a bit in this moment as the rest of you guys see this happen. And it does seem like there is a family reunion, but maybe not a demigod family reunion happening.
Keys, where the hell have you been?
He, still holding on to you, he says, "I couldn't come back after Dad lied."
He lied to you too, then.
So you, Crocus, would understand that this young man believes that he was lied to. You're not sure what was lied about, but you do know that he believes that he was lied to about his mother. Now, you also, and with your history check, this is your natural 20 that I'm giving you, you recall that he is born of your half-mom. He's all Furbolg, no god. He is mistaken in thinking that Moira is his mother. And it seems like he may have found this out without Dad wanting him to find it out. Like he may have found out about you being Moira's daughter, and he may have thought the same thing about himself. He's confused. And he thinks that Dad lied to him, but maybe Dad didn't. You're not sure what Dad said in this particular case, but you do understand that he is confused. Khitan is confused for sure. And that makes it even more heartbreaking because he could have come home all this time. He could have been a part of your life, but he truly believed that he had been lied to and that he needed to go find his real mom. And he missed the death of his real mom. He missed the death of your Furbolg mom, his real mom, because he was out looking for someone he believed was his real mom, if that makes sense.
Right. No.
So it's kind of a heartbreaking moment, and it's hard for you to figure out how to break it to him. But he says, "Dad has always been a liar, and I wanted to tell you, but you were too young. What was I going to say?"
I don't know. Wow. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted.
He always was smart. You remember with your history check as well. He was always a smart kid, and you're not sure if he ran away or what happened to make him go away. But he definitely seems like he's been holding this grudge for a long time against your father.
Keys, how did you find this out? What How? Where? What?
Well, I heard father and mother, well, our half-mother, I heard them talking one night, and I wanted to see if it was true, so I went into Dad's study at the bakery, and I found this proof. And he kind of goes over to a little bookshelf inside of his house here, pulls a book out and opens it up, and there's a little slip, a little old note that's written in your dad's handwriting. And he shows it to you. The ink is still kind of dripping, or not dripping, like peeling off. You know, it's old ink. And what the note says is, "Dear kids, I'm sorry for lying to you, especially you, my daughter." And it has more information. It goes into detail about how he met Moira, who came to him at a time when his bakery was just starting up and it wasn't doing too well. And she came to him in the form of a beautiful woman. And it was after he had prayed to her, prayed to the harvest goddess for prosperous bounty of the harvest to make his bread. And she came to him, and he writes in the note that she admired his kind soul. He was, and this, you recall this about your dad. Your dad may be foolish, but he is kind to a fault. The kind of person who would give bread away to somebody if they needed it. If they walked in and said, "Sir, I don't have any money, but I could use some bread," he would just give it to them. He was that kind of person. So although he is a dumbass, and maybe you would consider him a liar, he is also one of the kindest people you've ever met in your life, and you know him to be that. And you have a feeling this is what drew Moira to him. And they had that moment together. And it was at that time that he had you. And unfortunately, in the note, what was confusing is he says... Somebody have a question? Okay. So unfortunately, in the note, what's confusing is he says, "My daughter, you are hers. So am I. And so is your brother." Which I think would confuse somebody to think that they are just like you in that they are a child of this goddess. But you can tell with the knowledge you know, he's just saying that they owe everything. You all owe everything to her. All of the success of the bakery, everything you owe to her. And the family owes to her. And so that's what confused your brother, it seems. He read that when he was a kid and took that, and you're not sure how he went missing, but you have a feeling this is what sparked it. You're not sure what happened, though, to make him missing. As he explains, he says, "I ran off. I was angry. I ran off. And I was picked up by some traveling elves who, honestly, I didn't mind. At that time, I thought I'd come back and tell you. But things got in the way. And I couldn't face Father after the lies he told. So I've lived an entirely different life away from you. And I'm sorry. But now we can find our real mother. And stop living a lie."
Oh no. Crocus just kind of nods and pulls back. She doesn't know how to break it to him. She doesn't have it in her to tell him.
And he kind of nods with you. And he looks at the rest of your group here. and he says, "Why are you all here? Why my mother?
Oh.
Why did you bring all these people, Crocus?"
They're helping me. We're working together. We're gonna find everyone's parents. It just happened to be my mom that was first.
But
Me and Tyria are just passing this pipe back and forth and smoking as we just watch with like our jaw dropped.
he, looking at the rest of you, he says, "So you're all demigods, but why do you need to find our mother? What's the purpose?"
We have to stick together, Keys. It's dangerous.
I guess you could say we're friends.
I guess you could say I'm trying to fuck your mom.
And that.
I'm
Please,
kidding.
please don't,
I'm-
please don't
I'm-
fuck my mom.
I'm joking. Sorry.
He says, "Well, so are you just here to meet her as well, then, Crocus?"
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
I don't know if she'll... Maybe now that we're both here, she'll reveal herself, but with all these other people, they might make her...
Dude, I don't trust this guy. This
Uncomfortable?
guy is so fucking shady. He wants her to be on his own. This person is so scary. We should not trust him.
Tyria, this is my brother. He's been missing for years. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
how do you know it's still him, though? You barely have a remnant of a memory.
Can we get Mari in here for a DNA test?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Keys, listen to me. You need to go. You need to get out of this cornfield as fast as possible, Keys. It's not safe.
What? No. What? Why?
Just trust me on this one. We can catch up after. I promise I will return our mother to us, and I just need you to run away as fast as possible and get out, Keys.
I'm not going anywhere.
No. Keys, you have to trust me on this one.
No, he kind of takes a step back. Crocus, I've been here for years. You cannot just come here and then tell me to leave.
Oh no.
I don't want to interrupt a sibling conversation, but your sister, I would listen to your sister. I know you've been here for years, but there's a reason you've been here for years and made no progress. We've been contacted by this mythical dream man, and honestly, I would believe Crocus when she tells you that you need to back up and look after yourself. We will come back and find you, and Crocus will bring your mother to you. But if you don't want to get hurt, now you might think you're big and strong, but whatever's in that fucking seed is a scary thing. I would listen to your sister. She's your sister, for God's sake.
Wait a second. I just thought of something. Do you have any idea where the seed could be? Because we have this heirloom, and it could make somebody invisible.
He again kind of raises his fur-bulk eyebrow. And as he does, he looks back at that package he was clutching earlier. Some of you may remember I described as he was coming out of the basement, he was holding on to a white-wrapped little package close to his chest. It's laying on a table. And he goes to pick it up. Unwraps it. And as he does, it's a small golden box that was wrapped in a white cloth. And he unlatches this golden box and pulls out a beautiful, ornate golden compass. And as he does, he says, "I was raised in a city full of magical elves. They taught me so much, like the magic I used to disguise myself from you. And this is a relic from that city, one that I earned as in my time as a guard for the city." And he holds the relic out, his hands shaking a little bit, and he says, "But it has never worked for me. It is said that if a demigod is to hold this, it will point them towards the next in their blood. This is called the Relic Finder.
I don't know. Oh,
Give it to her. Let her try it.
can I see it for a second?
He hands it to you. You see, when he's holding on to it, the needle is just kind of going back and forth in different directions, just kind of rotating in different directions, not really doing anything in particular when he rotates it around. But then he hands the compass to you. And as he does, and the compass reaches your hand, the red arrow immediately slowly turns and points rigidly in a direction and stays in that direction, which is immediately east from the house.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps that's the way.
This. Yep. Oh my god.
What if that takes us to the seed?
It should. I don't think it would be pointing us in any direction for no reason.
I'm frustrated. I've found my way to this cornfield by myself without anyone's help, not even this compass. And it does not work for me.
Oh,
I guess we're just built differently.
Oh no. Keys, listen to me. There's a forest when you leave. Our friend Dom is there with horses. I want you to go and meet with him. I need you to, you need to listen to me when I say you need to go.
At this time, as you're saying that, he's shaking his head just constantly while you're talking, and he says, "It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen."
Keys, I can't lose you again. I won't lose you again.
You're not going to. We're gonna find our mother together. And as he says that, he picks up his scythe. And as his scythe blade is kind of dragging across the ground as he's picking it up, you all hear the sound of creaking and crows outside the house. This crow-like noise. And you hear the flapping of wings. As you look out the window, you see thousands of these crows flying down and circling these scarecrows.
Oh,
and
dear.
You notice the sun is slowly setting behind the hills of the corn. And a deep rumbling beneath your feet shakes the house.
Shit.
And that's where we'll end it for today.
Fuck.
So, next time, those of you combat freaks, fighting freaks, you're gonna get a fight.
I kind of prefer I really like combat, don't get me wrong, but like days like these are so much fun.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys had
Like
some
to
fun
fight.
today. Everybody in Trish's chat, I hope you had fun. Everyone in Casey's chat, I hope you guys had fun. Thank you guys for being here. We'll pick it up again next week.